a way to lose. Every day I pretend to lose. Even when I self-destruct, I wanna be more, to do more than this. I'm not alone in this hell, I just wanna believe. I'm coming back in the end, I call your name in the twilight. Could you share it with me, please? Another hope is that this
Welcome to the Dean Von Music podcast show. We have a special treat tonight. We have Snow with us, and she's with The Designs. Welcome to the show, Snow. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing fantastic. You know, I'm just clicking on a few things over here, I'm still getting kind of set up. And I heard it's about 3 a.m. out there for you.
Lovely.
Holy smokes, man. You know, like going the extra mile tonight. You really are.
Well, it's not that big a deal for, let's face it, it's doable for musicians.
Well, I'm going to welcome you to the show and on the Dean Von Music podcast show. Okay? The audience is going crazy. So Snow and I were talking just a little bit about the band, and it's mainly her and Billy. They're a duo, and they came from like an electronic genre or electronic era, but they also do some pretty heavy stuff too. Because I've been listening to their songs tonight, and one caught my eye. It was called Criminal Mind. What was the name of this? What's the name of this one? Criminal? You got some pretty tricky names over here. I like it. There's some cranks. Can you hear that? So we're with Snow and the Designs, and she said the band is based in Italy, so she's in Europe tonight, right? Whereabouts in Europe are you tonight?
I am in Italy, Modena. That's north of Italy.
North of Italy. Okay. And so thank you for staying up to 3 a.m. to do the podcast show tonight. That's called dedication. And you're with Curtain Call. Is it Curtain Call Records?
Yes.
And
we're with Curtain Call, and the album actually drops in a couple of hours, I think, if I'm calculating right.
The album just dropped a couple hours ago?
Well, in all fairness, it's been out for a split second a while back. We released it on our own because of tour purposes, and then we took it down and had a lot of problems. Long story short, now Curtain Call giving us support, so thank you, and a shout out.
A shout out. And we have some fans joining us. I don't know if you're familiar with the show tonight. The show is pretty typical. I have some, the chat is open. So if people want to come in and talk to you or ask questions, probably YouTube is the easiest place to go. And if you're hearing it tonight, and you would have to log into YouTube to chat with Snow and myself. But we do have some people already on chat tonight. We'll be on Instagram Live tonight. We'll be on Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook. Do you have a Facebook page, Snow?
Yeah, The Designs Music.
The Design, yeah, I saw that. Also, if you want to go to Snow's website, it's The Designs, designsmusic.com.
Yeah.
And that's plural, The Designs. You got it. Tell me about how this band got started. And you can take me all the way back to your early career, maybe before The Designs, and just run me through your history, your music, and even coming out of school. You know, were you a band geek like me?
Oh, I'm not sure you want to go that far. I've been writing music since I was 10, 12, and as well as visual art is my thing as well, because I do all the video and stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, but I will fast forward to how the design started because I don't think we have
Okay.
time.
Let's hear about
Um,
that.
yeah, basically because me and okay, so my solo project Snowbon and Billy's previous band JTR Stickers, we used to tour together a lot. So I mean, we've known each other for about 13, 15 years at this point. And there was a point back in 2017, I believe, where Billy called me because we always kind of wanted to do a collab of some sort.
Right.
Um, but he called me to because he was working on a new album, which at that time he did not know whether that was going to be a solo album or an album for the band that he was in at that time.
Gotcha.
And he's like, just come and I have some new songs and I want to film some videos for it because I work in video production and everything. So, and then you'll also do some guest vocals. So we did
Okay.
that. And then once that happened, I did vocals on one track and then we kind of added a little bit on another track. And then we just started adding vocals. And what was originally supposed to be his, like a I don't know, veer of the path kind of album for
Right.
himself ended up being the designs because that's just how it ended up because we blend very well. We're very opposite in our approach to music. Like we're the polar
Where
opposite.
do your influences come from? And when you got started music, has it always been kind of like a jazzy kind of hipster kind of look, and like a classic? It's very
We
it's an
come from
appropriate
very
name.
different, yeah, we come from very different, okay, maybe not very, but different backgrounds in music
Then
overall.
you talking about Billy?
Yeah, us
You,
both.
you
Like
both?
we're
Okay.
different. He, of course, he grew up with a lot of classical music, playing instruments, blah blah blah. Then he got into metal, as we all do in our teens. A lot of grunge, and then back to like the dark wave and just anything that's atmospheric and interesting is what he's gonna enjoy. Obviously I don't want to speak for him too much, but
Now,
I
were
think
you into heavy metal too when you were younger, like Kiss and
me,
Aeros?
I listen, I it's funny because when I was a kid on my shelf, like I would have cassettes and CDs and they were all like 90s R&B and then
Right.
old jazz records because of my grandpa who taught me how to play the piano. So it's like a lot of Gershwin and a lot of other stuff. And
Gotcha.
I'd have Marilyn Manson and Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I honestly didn't even realize that genres existed until high school. When kids start like kind of bullying you
Oh
for
yeah, 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 yeah. Because you're
that, you're
weird. You're
that, and
weird.
I'm like, what? I love all of it.
Yeah.
So, I've always loved soul music.
Were
Like
you
even
the kid in school that wore all black, like the goth look? Did you have the goth look going?
I did absolutely. Okay, but like the elegant goth, not the
Yeah,
goth.
of course. Yeah.
Um,
The
um,
elegant goth.
not that it would be a problem if it's not, but I'm just saying, like for me, I like dark, always have.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah. I
dark
gotcha.
doesn't have to be related to metal music,
Gotcha.
like there's
Absolutely.
been a lot of productions in R&B and other soul music that have been very kind of, they took that creepy
Mm-hmm. Right.
kind of vibe to it. And let's face it, also blues is kind of dark when you think of it. So
R&B and blues, man. That's where I come from.
so yeah, just to explain this, like we combine all these things. Like right now, right now, the past few years, we're just all over the place. We listen to everything from like hardcore techno to Depeche Mode, and then I mean, Nine Inch Nails has always been our favorite. That's the one thing that keeps us united. Um, yeah, and a lot of small, interesting, like underground, groovy stuff.
Right. Right. Right.
Not necessarily like you can't even maybe categorize it that easily because it's all blends between electro and some sort of more instrumental, atmospheric approach. We love soundtracks. That's another thing.
So tell me, do you guys now, are you guys thinking of tour, and have you been to the United States to play out here?
To play? No. We were, that's another story. When we started the band, the project, basically a couple of months before COVID.
Gotcha.
So as you can imagine, that helped things a lot.
Oh my God, yeah.
No, we were supposed to go on tour, I think 3 times in the States, and every time it crashed.
Right in the middle of the COVID situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
also
messed up.
afterwards, because also people are not exactly what they say they are.
That's true. It's the music business, though, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, there's lots of promises. I wrote a song long time ago called Empty Promises, probably stemmed from the music business. But I'm a songwriter. I'm a singer, too. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I've been singing a long time. I've been in the business for 45 years. I decided to do a podcast and talk to all my fellow musician friends and even producers and record companies. I interview anybody in the music business, mostly bands, of course, and artists. A lot of solo artists all over the world. I did Glass Tiger, who was a Canadian band, and I've done some pretty big acts. But you know, you guys are on your way. I love your music, and you've got a lot of stuff going on. I checked out your website. You got some plays up on Spotify. You got lots of videos. I love the videos. They definitely take you somewhere. You know, they take you out of your. They take you out of yourself. In fact, I wanted to play one just to kind of let people know what the band's like. You know, and I've got a few queued up here. I have one's interesting. It's got an interesting name. It's called Porno. What is it?
Riot.
Yeah, it's called it's called Porno Riot. And then of course I've got another one that I liked. Begin. It's called Begin. And I'm going to ask you which one's your favorite. And Criminal Miracle. Is that right?
Lovely. Yeah.
Criminal Miracle. You know, that one intrigues me. Tell me what that song. Now, do you also write the songs and the lyrics as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, most of this is Billy, since I came into it later. I do.
Gotcha.
I did write a lot of stuff, but that's going to go on the next record. This record is mainly Billy, and it's funny because, well, Criminal Miracle has many layers to it. One of the interesting things to mention is that Billy runs a criminal law practice. So,
okay.
So he has a very unique view on people's, how to put it, dark side. You know,
interesting. So he
writes
songs based on his working his career.
Oh yeah, because he sees a lot of artists that actually, you know, a lot of people that are violent, they are creative at the same time. So it becomes interesting when he meets people. He counsels for asylums and stuff. So, you know, he sees some stuff.
Real quick, Snow, real quick, a little bit more volume, maybe speak a little louder, or
maybe get closer.
Or closer, but just a little bit more volume. But I can hear you. But I had somebody on chat say, we can't hear. And I said, well, okay, I'll have her turn. Anyway, just a little bit louder, just so you know. We're going to play this video. It's called Criminal Miracle. Can you tell me a little bit about the song? And I know you just told me kind of where it came from. Tell me a little bit more about the song and I'll play it.
It's a reflective song. To be honest, obviously Billy, if he was here, would tell you more, but it's reflective. It's a lot about the, you know, obsessions and how you judge the outside world and how you judge yourself.
Okay, interesting.
Without giving away too much, you know. And it's wrapped up in this very rock and roll packaging.
That's kind of cool. Well, let's play it. Let's play it for the audience. Without any further ado, here we go. that is so funny. Like,
Yeah, that's actually, I love that because that's typical Billy. Like, we describe him
yeah.
when he runs out on stage. It's
I
like
love it. I love
when
it.
you let out the dog.
No, it's
He's
great.
just
I'd like to do
farting
something
for the
like
first time.
I'd like to do something like that for for one of my songs. Just have the way you guys ended that was really cool. So what a fun
Yeah.
video. Looked like you had a good time. And you look really good
Oh,
out
we
there.
did.
Dancing and
Yeah.
everything.
Thank you. Yeah, that was we were supporting Christian Death on their European tour. It was lovely. It was we had a lot of fun. We actually got kind of friendly with them. They were a good bunch. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's a great video.
I
It
decided
just
to make a video from that. So
I like fun videos, that lift you up, lots of energy. Now that, going back, I don't know if I asked you, you and Billy, your main influences going back to like Marilyn, was it Marilyn Manson? What was her name? Some of the, like, were you into like, give me some of your heavy influences, the influences you're writing.
well, I mean, in terms of metal for Billy, that would be like Pantera and stuff. But that's
Okay,
not
for
really our
yourself.
style. But we love like Nine Inch Nails, Depeche Mode, things
Depeche
that.
Mode. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
No shit, really?
I haven't heard Depeche Mode. I
What
mean,
do you mean?
well, I used to love Depeche Mode, but in the United States, I just don't hear them a lot. I don't hear their music. Yeah, I know. Well, so in
Wrong,
Europe,
just wrong.
it's just wrong. I'm a metal guy. I listen to typical, heavy metal, 80s rock, 90s, some of the old R&B. I like the old classic blues and stuff like that. So I don't dip too far down the electronic music, you know.
Right, right. I mean, in terms of electronic, for example, for us, Prodigy was always amazing.
Yeah,
Prodigy, Pendulum, all the bands that kind of are very near the threshold of actually being metal, but they don't have guitars, but it sounds like they
right,
do.
right.
It's so aggressive and awesome.
So
But
so
I mean, I
Billy,
love I love a lot of metal stuff too, so it's.
that's cool. So Billy's more of the metal guy. You're more of the electronic pop. Would you say pop,
No, no,
electronic
no.
pop?
No,
No,
we're both everything. That's what I'm
you
trying
guys.
to
Okay.
say. We're all a mix of everything.
So tell me a little bit
I
about Billy's band, JTR Sickert. I see it on your bio. Billy's band, JTR Sickert. Is that something you're in as well? Is that a separate
No.
band?
Yeah, that's his band. That's the
Okay.
band we used to do. My solo project used to tour with that band a
Ah,
lot.
okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Lovely people, love them always. They, yeah, it was actually, I guess, kind of similar to what the design sounds like, because they had very electronic elements mixed with like proper heavy distortion and kind of metal elements, I guess you would say. um yeah, it was JTR was based on, JTR stands for Jack the Ripper,
Oh,
because they have
okay.
whole
All right.
whole aesthetic of the
Oh,
whole
gotcha.
century and stuff. Serial killers is our thing, so in terms
Gotcha.
of
Gotcha.
and
Is that what most of the songs are written about? Is the dark side kind of, serial killers and that kind of,
well, I mean, well, no, not in that sense. It's more, Billy wrote the record. He was going through things in his life, like a lot
right.
of um uh big personal changes. I will put it that way. So
Gotcha.
there's a lot of topics of you know um obsession, addiction, freedom, how you look at things a certain way. We
Gotcha.
don't like giving away too much because it's like people got to find their own thing,
No,
but
I got it. Yeah.
always wrap in terms of what this album is, Invent, the album. I mean, we called it Invent because it's not about inventing, but the vent is in brackets, so it's invent.
Gotcha.
You're venting towards
You've gotcha. Okay. And putting in the words
creating
into
something
music.
new in the
Yeah.
process.
That's
Yeah,
very
because
cool.
it's, we love pop culture and art overall, and
Oh yeah.
that's why we chose the name the designs, because it's more, it insinuates, more to it than just music. I mean, I'm very visually oriented in terms of
Yeah.
working with video production, everything.
Do you do
So
also the video editing? Are you involved in the video production of your songs, videos?
yes, I do everything. Yeah, yeah.
Very cool. So you do
Also
a
the
lot of the stuff
photos and
yourself. Yeah. So you
yeah.
do a lot of the stuff
So
and the
my
recording. Who does the recordings?
Yeah, I mean, well, the visual stuff is one thing. I mean, I run my own company for visual and
Okay.
video stuff.
Nice.
Um, Now, but in terms of music, we record. Obviously, we write at home and record all our material at home here in our studio.
Okay.
Then we go for this record, we went to a producer, Eddie Cavazza, Silent Ghost, Great Ear, and he
Mm-hmm.
basically turned it into what it is, because originally Billy came to him with purely electronics, and then Eddie was like, but you might have something here if we actually
Yeah.
started, and
Well,
that's how it is.
the one song I was listening to earlier was the Criminal. I keep forgetting the name.
Yeah, the Criminal Miracle. You
Criminal
don't like the
Miracle.
word miracle, do
I
you?
must not like Miracle. It's funny because I put it up on my screen and all the labels are truncated because they don't fit. So all I see is Criminal. Okay, I have to do a better job of labeling next time. But
Probably
this
would have
song,
been cooler if we called it Criminal.
but
Just
I
that.
love the guitar parts on this. And just a little clip, real quick. That's just heavy right there. And I'm guessing that was written by Billy. Most of the guitar parts. You having technical difficulties?
No,
You sound good.
I'm just,
Yeah, this song is great. So tell me, the future for the designs. Are you guys going to be thinking about doing a tour here pretty soon? And is Curtain Call Records involved in helping you out with that?
no, not in this tour. I mean,
Okay.
obviously we're working Curtain Call for other things in the future. We are currently working on a tour that's European, and I was hoping to be able to talk about it at this point because it should be announced soon, but I cannot. Um,
Oh.
so it's going to be a tour in around Europe in the summer, hopefully, if all goes well. If it does not go well, then we will find a way to reach you. Meaning, probably, I don't know, the States probably not so soon, but
Hey, we're I just want to mention we're being streamed out on the Rock Rage Radio tonight, and it's in
cool.
Rock Rage Radio Canada, and we have people out there that are listening to the show, and I'm guessing Rock Rage has a Canadian YouTube channel. Anyway, I didn't even know that, but I just got a notification. Hi, Rock
I mean,
Rage Radio
they have
Canada.
channel
Huh?
everywhere. Like if I see Rock Rage China at some point, I won't be surprised. Like it's
That's pretty
they
cool. That's
seem
pretty
to have
cool.
their fingers everywhere. No, that's wonderful.
Well, it's
It's
something
great.
I've been trying to do with the show. It's kind of like syndication. When you syndicate a show and you repeat it around the world. And I'm only streaming in the United States, really. Of course, I'm on social media apps that are all over the world, right? Like Facebook and YouTube and all that. But Curtain Call Records decided to put it on Rock Rage Radio to help me get more listeners and their listeners because you're one of their artists, one of their bands. So you're being seen by a lot more people tonight than last week, for instance. So I think more people are going to jump on board and start watching the show and everything. Because, I get a lot of people saying this is a unique show because I interview talent that a lot of people haven't heard of in the United States because I am interviewing you in Europe. You're actually over in Italy. And people in the US don't get to hear that music very often. It's not on our radio, and so I'm one of the few podcasters that is doing that. and I'm talking to independent artists, and some major artists that are now off label that are doing their own thing. That was, I believe, Glass Tiger was a Canadian band. They're huge in Canada, and they had a couple big hits in the United States. And I interviewed them here, and I got to talk to the keyboard player. Anyway, and they're still going. They're still playing out there. So you're now. Tell me a little bit about the geography. You and Billy, are you primarily located there in Italy? And tell me how you guys met and where you both came from.
Well, okay, yeah, we are located in Italy. Uh, Billy's Italian. He's been here forever.
Okay.
Obviously, obviously has traveled a lot, but this is his base. So, not like me. I was born in Slovakia, but I never lived there much. I went because of how my family functioned and of the jobs. My mom's a linguist professor, so she used to travel a lot around and speaking countries, and everywhere she went, she would take me with her. So I ended up going to elementary school in America and England and London, and then high school I did in Slovakia, and then after that I did a couple years university, and I went to London, back to Germany, and then back to the States.
So
And now I'm here.
you've been moving around quite a bit.
Yeah, a little. I'm a little bit of a bastard.
Yeah, you kind of a little gypsy. Kind of doing the gypsy thing.
Yeah, but you know what? I like it. It keeps an open mind.
Well, have you come out to the United States yet? Have you been out here? Have you been out to the U.S.? Your life? Did you? Huh?
I lived in the States for years.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. I lived there as a child. I went to school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
School.
I skipped over all that. I normally start with that.
Yeah, as an adult, I lived in Orlando, Florida. 6 years.
So how long were you here?
Here.
I gotcha. Okay. And you know what? I normally go back to your childhood, you growing up and your parents, were they supportive of your music career? And did you, have people around you that were supportive? And then how'd you get into this kind of music? I usually ask the typical questions. And how did you get here, basically?
I've been here since the beginning is the only way I can describe it. I mean, I've never really wanted to do anything else other than art. Since I was a kid, I worked on music a lot. Because I played instruments and stuff. I started writing very early on just because I was fascinated by how, you can create things. At the same time, I used to do a lot of painting because when I hear music, I see shapes and colors. So that just kind of came hand in hand. And that's literally been my entire life. It just progressed into, me modernizing it in terms of doing video production and then doing music as a.
Well, let me make an announcement real quick for those of you listening out there, and that some people are listening and not watching. So I want to announce the phone number so people can call in and talk to you. Call in and talk to Snow from The Designs. She is the lead vocalist and songwriter and one of the original members. And it's Talk to the Band hour, or talk to the band segment, I should say, because it's not the whole hour. So from around the world, you can call in. There is a QR code on the screen. If you scan that, you'll get numbers from all around the world. But the local U.S. number here is country code 1, area code 669-444-9171. That's country code 1-669-444-9171 in the United States. And you can call in now to the show. Now, Snow advised me it was 3 in the morning in Italy right now. And she's still hanging in there. 3:30 a.m.
Look, eyes wide open.
I can't believe you're still up. And that is true dedication, right? That's someone said, Snow, you got to do an interview. When? 3 in the morning. Oh shit, I don't want to do that. But you look great. You look like you're refreshed. I know you're probably ready to crash. And you're living the rock star life, right? 3 in the morning. You're probably going to sleep all day tomorrow, I'm guessing.
I cannot, but I do hope to wake up late at least.
I wake up late. And
Yeah.
so how many bandmates do you travel with? And I know there's Billy, but is there like a permanent a back line? You know, your bass player, your drummer. Do you have some guys that you always play with, or do you hire session players as you go?
No, I mean more or less. Um, so for example, our bass player Pete is from my solo project, my bass player, whom I've known for 25 years. He's my big brother. That's always our bass. Um, the guitarist, we have Chain. We've played with Miko from Italy a few years back. Great guy. Then things, his situation kind of changed, and now we have a different person. We have Marcello, is also Italian. And now the drummer used to be also my drummer, Snowbon drummer, Tuki. But for this tour that we are gearing up for, we've had to find a different solution. So we are rehearsing with Giorgio, who is originally Italian but lives in Germany. So
Okay.
it's all over the place. So when rehearsals happen, our house becomes the hotel, and everybody just flies in and flies in however they can.
That's pretty
Which is
cool.
what's been happening the past few days. They literally left this morning.
That's pretty cool. I love your house. Is that that looks like a set? That's like a set. You know, like the old piano
Oh,
behind you. Is that part of your
oh,
house, or is that a set?
I'm in our living room right now. I did all the
That is so
walls.
cool. It's like an old upright piano. I love the walls, the
Yeah.
artistic look. Yeah, it's a very cool set. And it's
Oh, the
funny
walls
because
were a lot of fun. I'll tell you all about that. 4 layers of paint. It's done. That's my therapy. Like when I
oh my
when I
God,
want to
yeah.
chill out, I'm like, give me a wall to paint.
You're like my other half. She likes to paint, and she painted a whole mural in the kitchen one time, and it was a
Yeah.
chef. She painted the chef with the hat on, holding a tray and a wine, and there was a wine thing behind it. It was really cool, and she's a really good artist, and she painted the whole wall, and we were just renting the place. I'm sure the next tenant moved in and had to cover it up, or maybe not. But yeah, she loves to
No.
paint walls too, so it's a lot of fun. But do you play piano, Snow? Do you play piano?
Yeah, yes, when I was younger, my main instruments were piano and guitar. I used to play the clarinet as well when I was a child, also the violin. I can no longer do that
The
because
violin?
as time progresses, you realize that you can only keep up with so much, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, I'm
more
sorry.
now, I mean, I stick to I stick to piano now mostly. That's what I write on. And then I record my guitars, obviously, but it's different, because once I write something and I record it, I never play it again. So the skill
Interesting.
level
Yeah.
definitely goes down a bit
You know,
because
it's
you got to
funny.
prioritize.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that because when I write a song, it's funny. I don't turn around and learn it or play it again. I'll write it because I'm writing by myself right now in the recording studio. So I put out an EP about 3 or 4 months ago, and I write songs, individually, but I play all the instruments, and I'm mainly a piano player. I'm a keyboardist,
Mhm.
and I don't play violin, although I thought about it. But I'm mainly a guitar player. I play 12-string Ovation guitar, and I have an electric Ibanez. And I play bass, of course, and I play drums. I'm a better drummer than anything, actually. But I don't want to talk about me. But you look
Well,
great.
but it's, and you can't do all these things at once. It's the one thing that I
Yeah,
realized.
right, right,
So after a certain age, you're like, okay, I gotta let this go. I will never be like a performance pianist. You know what I mean? I use
right,
piano to type. I record what I need to record, va bene, everything fine, and we move on. Like and it's
right.
the same with guitar and clarinet and violin. I can't even like I grabbed those instruments and I don't even know what I did. I was 15 when I played it last time, you know.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't even mention that because it doesn't count like I can play it. I don't know.
That's
But
pretty funny. You have a few videos out on YouTube. You have some songs up on Spotify. And I know that you guys now, how long has this band been together professionally?
well, that's what I'm saying. That's a tricky thing to say. We started it right. I mean, we started
Yeah,
working on that album in 2018, and then
right.
by the time it was ready, COVID hit. So it's
Okay,
like
okay, okay.
2020, and we kind of haven't been able to really pick up the pace since. I mean,
Well, it
we
says
did, but
no, I got you. There's just no timeline in your bio here, really. I see autumn of 2022, the band toured Europe as a main support for death rock icons, and Christian Death is called. Is that a band?
yeah, you don't know Christian Death. Yeah, yeah, they're
No, I
cool.
don't. What's funny? There's a big wall between us and Europe, and unless we listen to European radio stations here in the U.S.,
Yeah,
there's even when I was in Australia, they didn't know a lot of music here in America. And I even asked this one person, "Have you ever heard of Styx?" And they'd never left the country, and they didn't know who Styx was. And I was just, there's a big wall, and maybe Styx never toured there. I'm not sure what the story is, but um, a lot of bands don't tour certain countries. Not all bands tour around the world.
but
Yeah.
Christian Death are American. That's what I'm saying. So,
Right. Right.
I mean, they're not like I guess, a major thing.
Right. Hey, you have a song called Begin.
Mm-hmm.
When was that song written by the band? And give me a little preface of the video I'm about to play.
As far as the song, that exactly, I don't know. I remember we worked on it in the studio. I remember Billy had this amazing groove, that's the one that it starts with.
Okay.
Very bouncy and everything. And I remember them discussing stuff about the chorus and how it needs to be straightened out and opened up. And then
Okay.
we added my vocals, and I don't remember exactly when this was. But
Okay.
it was
Well,
it sounded like a great song to start out. It's the first video we ever released. It sounded
was it
like a
really?
great start with.
Well,
Well,
how
it's
apropos.
something.
It says begin. The title is Begin.
Exactly.
So it's the beginning
Exactly.
of the designs. This song
Yeah.
in the title talks a little bit about the beginning. And I'm going to go ahead and play it for the audience, if you don't mind. And crank it up, everyone. And thank you for watching the Dean Von Music podcast show tonight. We do have the chat open on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Rumble. And so if you want to jump on there, if you're listening to the show, apparently you're hearing me right now. But if you're listening to the show and you want to watch the show, probably YouTube would be your best bet to go out there. And so I'm about ready to play one of the music videos by the Designs, and it's called Begin. So without further ado, let's give it a shot. Are you ready, Snow?
Absolutely. One of my favorite videos.
Is it really? Oh, great. Let's play it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm looking for your help, but you don't give me the satisfaction. Loneliness corrupts my heart, my doubts, and my obsession. I'm looking for a way
Video production is amazing. And how? And what role do you play in the video, the making of the videos for the designs? What role do you play, and do you have any outside help?
Yeah, no, I do everything. That's
Oh
my
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 gosh,
job. I do it for other bands as well. So
that is incredible because that production is movie quality. I thought I was watching a movie right there, kind of like a horror movie or something twisted or something like that, Very cool.
right. Well, I've had my fair share of experience, I guess. Throughout the years, I have kind of decided to focus mainly on doing music videos for bands because I want to stick with
Oh,
the
okay.
music. My
Yeah.
thing, I love the short format.
Are
I'm
you are
usually
you are you
depending
work?
on.
Can someone hire you? Can a band hire you to do their video? Your
Oh,
company?
that's my job.
Well,
Yes,
well, I know, but I just want to make sure you're available. So when I send you, customers, you'll take care of them.
absolutely. Have them reach out to me. Probably
Yeah,
not this year, but we can
yeah.
plan something.
No, I think it's incredible. The movie production or the film production on those music videos are amazing. You did an amazing
Yeah.
job on those. Yeah, you're very
Well, I do
talented.
have I have a short film right now when doing a festival circuit, so that's another thing I have to keep an eye on.
You have a very needed talent, especially in the music business, because so many bands want that. They want that quality production. They want to look good, And there's a lot going on.
Right.
There's a lot going on with your videos. I mean, there's a lot going on,
Be-
special effects and people
Because they,
floating and yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because I think that if I think that the music deserves it, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
problem is we need to give a shout out to labels and people who are pretending to support bands to actually give them budgets because it ain't easy doing this type of stuff, It takes
No, we're
time.
no, no, I know it's not easy. And were you signed by any other labels? Have you been under record contract before, or is Curtain Call
Oh,
one of the
we have,
first?
but I'm not gonna, yeah, I
You're
can't
not going to
say
mention
that.
it. That's fine. Now, you talked a little bit earlier about doing a tour, and I kind of saw in my notes here, near the end, it said they're releasing their debut album, and it says Invent soon through Curtain Call Records USA. Does that mean
Right.
does that mean it'll be released in the United States or it'll be released in Europe at the same time?
Normally,
Worldwide.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's what I
worldwide,
thought.
normally. Um, should be
Why
in a
would you
couple
release
of.
it one place and not the other? Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. Is it already done or is that still going to happen? Did you already release that new album?
No, that's gonna drop sometime now. I've
Or
actually just managed
or
to
be
get a
like
hold of
right
the
now?
label.
All right,
Yeah.
everyone, get out, get that album. It's dropping. Where can people get it right now? And for everybody in the audience, I'm going to play a song. What's it called? Porno Riot? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Can you tell me who came up with that name and why? You did? Okay.
No, Billy did.
Billy did? Okay.
Of course. Because it's okay. I'll give you a very brief, because I don't want to speak for him, and also let's leave things up to
Sure,
interpretation.
sure.
But
Right.
it's about the whole sexualization of the planet. Okay. So
Okay. Okay.
sometimes what seems to be freedom becomes your jail. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So thank you for prefacing that for me because that title can give people all kinds of different,
Yeah.
notions, right? Okay. So I'm going to play it
And
for
it's
the
good.
audience.
Let it from all notions possible. That's good.
Are you ready? I'm going to play it. Are you ready? You ready to rock, Snowvon? Are you ready to rock? Here we go.
Absolutely.
God. That song is crazy, man. That song is crazy, but I love it.
Fun video.
It's a lot of
And you know
fun.
what? Now that I think of it, when I saw it, there's a couple of people that flash in the picture in the end that were rocking out with us while we were filming. That's the members of Billy's old band, JTO.
Oh, okay, okay.
Fun
That
fact.
song, you know what you know what that song was, Snow? That song was Bad to the Bone. Do you remember that
I
song?
know that. I do. I probably just don't
Me and
associate it with that name.
did you grow up in the in music, like in the, I'm not going to ask you your age, but I did my first record in 1979, and I grew up kind of in the late 70s, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, you know, all that stuff, Beach Boys. Remember the Beach Boys? Did you kind of grow
Oh
up
yeah.
the same era, kind of? Van Halen, all that?
Okay, I was not born in 79, but I do know my dad was a big fan of, also my mom, parents. We
So
listened to
your
a lot of
parents
Beach
were
Boys,
okay.
a lot
Yeah.
of Boston, a lot of Yes,
Mm,
Jethro Tull,
there you go.
all the like quality rock stuff.
Black Sabbath,
I
Black Sabbath,
yes,
Rainbow,
yes, but
Ronnie
not
James
that much.
Dio.
Yes,
Hmm.
Rainbow, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
video, I have to tell you, I really love your videos. They're very exciting, and you're very talented. And if that's your profession, holy smokes, I'm surprised you're not just so busy. You know, you're overbooked.
I
You
am.
know, you are okay. I kind of thought so. And what a great
Yeah,
talent.
way too. I'm thinking I have to change something. But I mean, I
That,
appreciate it. I,
yeah,
the problem when you create a business out of what you love doing,
right.
it's a big problem because you have a problem saying no.
Yeah, yeah, because you
You
almost
end
like
up
you love it.
working
Yeah, you love it so much that you'll do it 12, 14 hours a day because you enjoy it,
more than
right?
that,
Yeah.
always more.
So you never stop working. And you probably do a great job, even for a customer or an outside, you know?
Yeah, but that's why I would like to think so, but that's why I have burnout like twice a year.
Right, right. No, I got you.
I'm
And
laughing,
here
but
you are. What is it, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're still talking? You're a trooper. You're a real trooper. And I'll tell you, your partner's lucky to have you. You know. Now, does he also do interviews? Why didn't he come on the show tonight? Is there a reason he didn't come? No.
Well, yeah, because he's out now. Because, like I said before, we had to kind of split our efforts.
Okay.
He's not talking to people about the future production that we want
Gotcha.
to do, and it had to happen tonight. And
I gotcha.
not
Okay.
all the time to be here, already.
So you guys are knocking two things out at the same time. You're doing an interview and he's out doing something else. Yeah, so you guys are double timing. That's pretty smart actually, because you're trying to cover a lot of ground as a duet. You know, it's just the two of you. And I remember back when I was playing in Hollywood, I had the whole band. Of course, I did 90% of the, going out there and hanging up posters. And, back in the 80s, we didn't have the internet like we do today. So I would go out and hammer the posters up on the walls, and add a can of spray. I'd glue them to the buildings. I mean, it was just a mess. Must have been a nightmare to get those things off. And that was in Hollywood, Los Angeles. And anyway, your music is awesome. I've been playing your song for a couple weeks now through the commercial. Yeah, people really like it. And I just love good music. And I actually enjoy doing the podcast with artists because I get to play their music. I get to pick out my favorite song, and I get to do the commercials, and then I get to talk to amazing artists like yourself. And
I love that you do that because there's so much talent in the world that will never.
There is.
Without guys like you, it's never gonna be covered or at least supported.
Yeah, and everybody everybody has a talent. I believe a lot of people have talent, but it's very hard to get heard, by anybody out there, right? It's hard to get recognized. It's hard to, yeah. and that's another reason I like doing it. And not a lot of podcasters are looking for the big artists and the big labels and all that stuff, and I don't mind, and I like working with I work with a few record companies, and that's how I get my bands. And I feel that they've gone through the record company, they must have something going on, like videos and music and new albums and tours coming up. You mentioned earlier you might tour in the United States or the US, or you might tour in the future. Do you have a timeline or I know you may not be able to talk about it now, if that's okay?
No, I can't. It's not the tour we're working on right now is a European tour.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the States are not, as of right now, not in the picture. But
Gotcha.
they were in the past, but at this point we're just, we're trying to work around here.
Do
More
you want to
doable.
well, you still got a lot of music ahead of you. As far as touring and writing songs and doing albums, do you find it easier today than it was, let's say 10? Well, again, I don't want to age you, but back when you started music, is it easier today to get your songs out in technology, or was it better 10 years ago, or do you think it's getting better now? Do you think we can get our songs out there and actually make some money? I know that's the tricky part.
I mean, that's an interesting question because I grew up at that time where I still thought in the old school way, where you think that if a label signs you, they're going to give you the support and then, joint efforts make something
Right,
happen.
right.
Which was very naive of me because that was no longer the case, but my
Yeah,
brain was still there. Um, Now, I mean, you're asking me about now and 10 years ago. Honestly, I don't know. I think now it's easier because the world has gotten used to
yeah.
the transformation that it went through. So artists, whether they like it or not, they know what they have to do, you
But
know.
it's hard to make money, financially. We don't sell
Yeah,
vinyl and albums anymore, and it
yeah.
kind of
I
hurt. It
mean,
hurt the music
well,
business.
you're gonna sell vinyl because they're in demand, but they're very expensive to make. So
Yeah,
it's not,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Not
all
profitable.
decisions that you have to do as a band. And in terms of the industry, the big guys, they're not, I mean, excuse me for saying so, but they're gonna follow things that, are tried and true most of the time.
Yeah, right.
So one new thing breaks through and then another 20 bands, hop on that train. So there's 5 years for them trying to get
Right.
anything new, and they
Yeah.
have this of people that are just talented and do so much more than just music. And um yeah, but it's just, I think if you're an artist in this day and age, you're used to it at this point. You get beat up pretty much all the time. So what you
Hey,
do is you
speaking of record companies, we got Brian Moore, your A&R rep from Curtain Call Records. He is on our
yeah.
chat window tonight. He says hi, by the way. Hi, Snow.
Hey, Brian.
There he is.
Brian is good, but I can't
Yeah,
see him.
I know. I don't put the chat on the screen. I just announce it. Brian Moore. He said that sounds like fun. Who's he talking to? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he says he loves the professionalism and the quality of my of the podcast show. Thank you, Brian. And Dean rocks and does all musicians justice in all aspects of exposure. He's always given me compliments. He's such a nice guy. But he loves you. He's oh yeah, cool videos. And so we got about a few people on chat tonight from around the world, and God knows how many people are watching. There's thousands of people. I looked at my views. There's like 86,000 people, and something like 700 hours of watch time. So they're watching, but they don't log in. They don't log in and say hi. Everyone just sits back and they watch the show, which is fine. Yeah,
I completely get that.
but I hope they find it. And that's why I love to play the music. I love to talk to the artist, and they want to know where did you come from, and how did you get here, and how do you write this amazing material, these songs, and your artistic views and your video production is incredible. And I'm looking at some of the graphics and the videos, and you would think that you hired a film crew. And tell me a little bit about your business. Do you hire cameramen, or do you do it all yourself? You do it
No,
pretty much yourself.
I come from, yeah, I do everything myself. Obviously, something happens at a certain point where I need something. I might need to rent a piece of equipment,
Sure.
this and there. But to be frank, in the past 6 years, that has not happened. So all of these videos that we've seen, for example, today, and all the other ones that have come out over these years, have not seen that. I just, I came from, okay, how do I phrase this? I started from nothing in terms of video making. Okay,
Right.
I've
Right.
always had a good imagination, and I see things when I hear music. That's just how I've always been.
You're very visual.
With painting, yes, with painting it's different. You grab a brush or a pencil and you start sketching, but with filming, it's a different story. You need equipment, you need stuff. So my first videos back like 15, 20 years ago were done on like very old handycam that was like a camcorder,
Oh yeah, the big old
shit
camcorder
that you use for holidays.
weighed like 10 pounds or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then like my biggest thing was like, ooh, I got a GoPro. And then I realized that the GoPro completely sucks in so many ways, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
awesome in other ways, obviously. I'm not trying to
Yeah, it's got that like fish eye lens kind of look to it.
well, that wouldn't be the problem, but you got no depth of field ever with GoPro.
Oh, I
So
got you. I got you.
I started learning how to fake it.
Oh, okay.
And all I'm trying to say, and obviously a couple years after I got myself a normal, camera, like standard, nothing crazy.
Well, for the videographers and photographers out there, have you had any training? I mean, how did you get this good?
No,
Just self-taught.
that's what I'm trying to explain. You get good because when you start from
Yeah.
nothing, you have to study things and you have to know what you want to achieve and how you can achieve it. And to a certain point, you can fake it, and after a certain point, you can't. So that's what's going to tell you what is the gear that you actually do need to invest in, and
I see.
what else is bullshit that you don't need right now, because there is a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
especially
kind of like the old
today,
fake it till you make it, saying. People used to say, fake it till you
yeah,
make it. And I heard that growing up, like, just do it.
if you have ideas, you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. But you got to
Just keep
start
thinking
somewhere.
about
You
it.
got to start somewhere, right? I mean, you got to get going. And I think, and I'm like this myself. I'm such a perfectionist that if I don't think I can do it perfect, I won't get started because I'm afraid of failure, right? And I'm afraid I'm going to fail. So I learned to put one foot in front of the other and just start, whether I think I'm good or not. Just and I'm saying that for the young musicians out there that want to get started, or whoever, or painters, or photographers. If you think you can't do it, do it, do it, do it, and do it, and just keep doing it. And who cares what anyone thinks? Just do it, feel it, do it, and be original, and bring art to the world that people have never seen before. Like your videos, I've never seen those before. They take me back to like, I'm trying to think of some of the bands, not Sid Vicious, but like not Alice Cooper. Do you like Alice Cooper? Because I want to interview him. I love Alice Cooper. Yeah, if he's listening, Alice, I need you on the show. But he's a showman. He's a showman, right? Yeah, me and Snow want to interview you. That is so funny. So I know it's about 4:00 in the morning out there. You're probably ready to hit it. And normally my interviews go over an hour. We've done three music videos. Is there a favorite song that I have on my screen. I have a couple of them. I'm trying to remember the names. Is there a favorite song of yours that the Designs does or that you sing?
Our favorite is Begin, but I would give Forever Wrong a try because that's kind of a nice groove.
Forever Wrong?
Yeah.
Is that, do you have it on your video on your website?
Yeah, it's a video too.
And everybody, if you want to go check out the Designs tonight, it's thedesignsmusic.com. Thedesignsmusic.com as it's spelled. And check out all their videos and their songs coming up. And the new tour will be on there as well. And you can send them a message. You can subscribe. They're on Facebook as well. But let me look at your video lineup here. You've got Criminal Miracle, Forever Wrong. Is that the one you're talking about? I gotta watch that. Do you mind if we listen to that?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to make. I love that one.
Hold on a second. Let me blow it up real quick. Let me blow it up here. And if everybody's out there listening, crank it up. I'm gonna make sure the volume is just cranked. Hang on. And this song is called Forever Wrong. It's official video as of 2022 by the Designs, and I'm talking with Snow right now, the lead singer and the songwriter. And we're going to play the video for the audience right now. So chime in on the chat, give a call into the show. I'll show that screen here in a little bit. The first caller in wins a mug tonight, wins a Dean Von Music podcast mug with the Designs on the cover. So it's a really cool mug, and it's beautiful. Okay, you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. We're going to play it right now. Here we go. This world is only
Play it along.
pretty cool shit right there.
I love that applause thing you have going. Makes everybody feel good.
Yeah, I got the audience behind me here. I've been feeding them all night. I keep them in behind the green screen. I keep the audience. Do you use the green screen when you're doing videos? Do you use any green screen stuff?
At times, yeah. It's a mixture of green screen, 3D building, CGI, blah blah blah. This one was pretty. I don't think this one had that much.
What year? What year was that video? What year was that video done?
What does it say on YouTube? We released it
2022. It says autumn
So
and summer. Band toured Europe as a main support. Okay, but I'm not sure when that
yeah,
song
you
was
had
written.
to.
Okay. Well, that's
Well,
again, the video production is incredible. And how long does it take, since we're on the subject, how long does it take from beginning to end, not the songwriting, but the video production? How long does it take from beginning to end to get it out?
well, that depends on what type of video it is. Obviously, how much.
How about that one we just watched?
The one we just watched, probably, I think I had that planned out and scripted out in about a week, and then filmed in about 2 days, and then
Wow.
about 3/4 of a month.
So you spend a lot of time editing, I'm guessing, and you probably knock the video out in one day, but then the editing has to come in. Is that right?
No, I mean, nothing ever gets knocked out of that. Never happens.
That never happens.
But yeah, but I mean, it depends. You film. You gotta have a good plan. So, it depends on what band I work with. For the designs or for myself, it's different because I'm close to it and I kind of know what we want or know what I want. So the planning part becomes quicker because it's very instinctual and it's just fuck it, let's do this. So
I gotcha.
editing, yes, it's just the editing and the post, and if there's not much CGI and stuff happening, then it's not that big a deal, so you can wrap it up in a month. For other bands I've worked with,
so I know you talked about you talked about the new album that's just been released. Did you find out where that's at? Is it out now, the new album?
Well, this is it's gonna be, I didn't find out, it's gonna be out. They told me it's out midnight tonight, but I think it's your time. So.
Okay, my time, midnight tonight. And how can people get that? Can they buy it from you directly? Do you have it on vinyl? How do they get this? How do they get the new album? Huh?
Of course, they can get CDs on our website.
Okay.
Thedesignsmusic.com along with merch and stuff. But in terms of immediate access and listening, Spotify and all the streaming services.
But I want to remind everyone to support the artist or to support the band. The best thing to do is go to the website and buy their CDs and their merchandise, because you are supporting the artist that way. Yes, we can listen to Spotify and but we're not really supporting the artist. So go out and check out thedesignsmusic.com website and buy the CDs from the band, because you're kind of cutting out the middle guy. You're giving the money to the band, which is where it belongs, right? Support the artist, support the band. We need that more than ever now. And this is why one of the reasons I do the show. I do the show to remind the young audience growing up. Sometimes I ask them, where can we get your album? They go, oh, just go to Spotify, or just go here, just go there. And I go, well guys, you need to make some money in this business, and you might want to think about selling your own merchandise. I wrap my own CDs. I shrink wrap them. I record them. I have my studio. I do everything myself, just like you do. And I want to be paid back, right? I want to make a little bit of money. I mean, I'm not starving, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it be nice to be, reimbursed for all the time you spent writing songs and putting together merchandise? And I'm just reminding the audience, go to the website, buy the music, and then go over to Spotify and listen to a few more songs. but support the band is what I'm saying.
On Spotify, just put it on loop because the numbers help, make it
Oh,
look
okay.
good.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a
But
good idea.
it doesn't
I never,
help
I never, I
us.
never thought about that. Just loop it. Maybe I'm going to go to my Spotify and loop my songs.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't even have Spotify on my phone. We have one Spotify on one device here where we listen to.
I listened to Pandora. I was in Australia and they didn't have Pandora. They had iHeartRadio. Who do you have in Italy? Who's the main streaming radio program in Italy? Do you have iHeartRadio or do you have a Pandora?
Streaming program. Everybody.
You don't have any streaming?
If they want to stream, I mean, we probably do, but we don't.
Okay.
Use it. Some of our friends use it. Everybody, if they need to look for something, they get it on Spotify or YouTube.
Okay, so Spotify and YouTube are still the main guys.
Buy records of the stuff they like. It's almost like Spotify is your preview.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Going by the record in whatever
Ure.
format you want.
No, I got you. It's nice to be able to record something and have it heard all over the world, right? I mean, when I do these podcast shows, after tonight, I'm going to put this back out on Spotify tomorrow. So cool. Tonight is just the live show. And I wanted to do the live show so I can get the live feel. And then I'm going to take it in my studio. I'm going to edit it, break it down, take out all the blank spots, edit it, chop it up a little bit, keep all the good stuff in. And then I'm going to put it back out on over 50 different podcast platforms tomorrow. So you're going to be in 105 countries with this podcast show tomorrow night. I know it's fun. So, I mean, that's when it really gets out there. That's when I get into Australia, Finland, Brazil. Tonight, some people are watching the live show, but I really like the fact that we can do that, right? You can write a song today, do a video in the next couple of weeks, publish it, and have it seen by the world or listened within a month, within 3 weeks to a month. And we couldn't do that. You could not do that in 1979 or 85 or late 80s. You couldn't do that. So I think it's really incredible what we can do. And there's a lot of new talent that we've never seen before. We can now see, like yourself. So I want people to support Snow and the Designs. Go to the website, thedesignsmusic.com. and check it out. So I know it's about it's almost late, about 4:30 in the morning. Oh my God.
It's 4:26.
Everyone's Snow. She's in Italy and it's almost 4:30 a.m. And because of the time difference, she agreed to do the show. And I'm so glad you did. And I'm heading towards wrapping up a little bit. Is there anything you want to say to your fans out there and your audience?
I just want to say thank you to anybody who tuned in tonight, this morning. And just keep in touch. Keep in touch on, thedesignsmusic.com. Make sure to reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram. It's all The Designs Music. We do have, happy to remember this, we do have a Facebook group.
Okay.
The Designs Music Society.
Okay. Designs Music Society?
Yeah. The Design Society, which is, you will find links to it on our page.
Okay.
It's ran by a good friend of mine, and we do try and post stuff that's not, for the general public. So like you should be getting things in advance and some insider info.
I'm also going to be sharing this. I'm going to be putting the links in the description below, the podcast show tonight. So I can get people to you. Okay. And well, I want to thank you for doing the show, and we're going to play a little music video on the way out. You can hang out or you can log out. It's entirely up to you, but we're going to play a little music on the way out. Here we go. And thank you everyone for watching the Dean Von Music podcast show.